Hello there. Welcome to my channel. This is Paper Kitty. Today I am going to be showing you this project. I'm using my oil pastels, pointing out that they are water soluble. This is a little bit of a different brand than I usually use. And I just saw these at Hobby Lobby. They were on clearance, so I thought, you know what, let me pick them up. And to be honest with you, I can't really tell the difference a whole lot from the other ones. I really haven't done like a side-by-side comparison on them either, so I really can't say for sure. But as it stands, I feel like this project was they were fine for this project, so they did what I wanted them to do, so that's good. All right, with that being said, let's see, what am I doing here? I am covering up the letters, because whenever you are doing an art page, a collage, a glue book, anything like that, and you want to use images from print material, magazines, books, things of that nature, you're going to run into some things like text that you may not want to be there, or you might even have like a missing something, so like on the bottom there, her boots were kind of missing a little bit. I don't know if you noticed just now, you may have to back up a few seconds, but that area there it had kind of like a white color block, and it was because it was part of the front of a magazine. So where they usually would put the address of the person or whatever, it was kind of a blank space. It was literally like a square that was white, and so it kind of went over the image, and so it made it to where it looked like the boots were kind of blocked off or something. So anyway, I used that red to just draw it in a little bit with some color. I go back later and outline it with black a little bit later to kind of make it look a little more natural-ish. Now I'm going to the edges of each kind of, I guess, element that I placed on this watercolor page. And so once I put down the elements that I wanted to put, what I do typically is kind of little by little start going in and finding the edges of those elements, of those cutouts, and kind of blending the colors in a little bit. That doesn't always work out well. And the color, you can try to match the color. Sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you can use a completely different color and that works better. So, there's no telling, but you just gotta try. I love these baby wipes. Any baby wipes would probably be fine. I just use the ones that they sell at Walmart that don't have any alcohol or parabens or whatever. They're just plain generic Walmart brand, and they come in a red, I guess, packaging. So anyway, like I said, I'm sure there's probably any baby wipe will probably do. But again, I couldn't say for sure because I do like this one, and I think I used a different one a while back, and it turned out to be like it kind of gave out a lot of white bits, that I didn't like. So I think actually it does kind of matter a little bit. But anyway, I was coloring in that sentiment that I had fussy cut out, and so as you can tell, the white is now yellow, and then I had to go back in with the black to outline it again and give it some, more dimension. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but anyway, you could see it better now. It's lined out better. Now I'm just making these like kind of crazy little circles and just different, I'm just kind of trying to feel the page and see what I can do with it, and then as I'm doing that, I'm thinking, well, let me add a little bit of white, because that's another lovely way to add dimension, to letters and words, for instance, as I'm doing here. And then also, I thought, let me go ahead and kind of do that with the little swirls and circles and things that I put in there, and polka dots. And I like the way that looked, but I still felt like I needed to do something more. And then I looked on the left corner on the bottom, and I noticed that there were these little like red dots, kind of like berries a little bit. And so I started to kind of just play with those. I thought, well, let me go ahead and keep doing those red dots all about. And then I thought, well, let me blend that in a little bit, and kind of maybe make it into a rose or something. And so that's kind of how that happened. It wasn't really planned, although I may have had that in the back of my mind. But anyway, I went in with the pink, and then I believe I went in with the red. And then, I did, make some mistakes, which is why I really like the baby white, because if you catch it in time, sometimes you can, actually erase, a mistake with it. Now it's not going to completely fully erase, but, usually you can kind of get rid of, some of the heavy pigment, like there. I kind of felt like I made a mistake because it was too dark, even though I tried to fix it with the white, it was still too dark. So I was like, nah. So I went ahead and got that baby wipe, and as you could see, it kind of blended it in, so it didn't like completely erase it. Obviously, it barely even erased it. It didn't even really erase it at all, actually. But it made it, I guess, mute enough to where I can go in with the green and start putting in some plants, because I thought, maybe if I put in some greenery there, I can work around the mistake that I had made, when I had that really big black blob there for a minute. And so yeah, and then you just keep playing with it, and put some of that white, and like I said, kind of turn those mistakes into little flowers, little roses. Then I go back in with a different color green. I like to use, if I'm using green, for example, and I have 3 different kinds, then I'm going to use all 3 different kinds in the same project if I can, because the different tones or colors that they are, when you use them together, it gives it a lot of dimension and texture, and I just really like, the way that looks. So that's what I did there, and so that's what I'm doing now on the right, is adding the greenery, which, like I said, is going to make those flowers stand out a little bit better. And so I am just now adding a little bit of another green, I believe, at this time. It is a little hard to see. I apologize. Sometimes when I'm doing this kind of project, I'll do it in the living room, and my husband is usually there by my side. This is the time that we kind of spend, together in the evenings, and sometimes I will just whip out the camera and do that. So, but yeah, I continued this process up on the top where it says bright. Again, you can see that I'm kind of creating a little bit of mud with that black there. And I think what happened is where I made some of those black swirls, I decided I wanted them to be roses. And so that's kind of how that happened. But again, you know, I do go back with the baby wipe and kind of clear that out. But anyway, so that I can then work on it a little bit different. But anyway, just wanted to kind of show you where I was so far with it. Now I'm at the bottom of the page, and I'm adding some, I believe what I did is at some point I did outline those boots. I can't remember now. I did speed up the video quite a bit because obviously it's a little bit tedious to watch me do it in real time. And but yeah, I went back in and apparently finished the boots, you know, outlined them, and then also I went in with some blue on the floor so I can kind of make it look like there was a puddle of water before. And then now I'm coming back in with the white, you know, just to, you know, white is one of those colors that, you know, is just really fun to work with because it gives you know, like I said, dimension and just like black. It's just, but in a, you know, very similar way actually, but it's just with a bright color. And so yeah, I went back in and added some more white to kind of highlight. I guess the white is more of a highlighting tool, you know, in many cases. And so you just go around different elements and you know, just kind of do it bit by bit and see if you like it. You know, I know in real time, I mean in speed, increased speed, you can't tell that, but in reality, I do go fairly, you know, cautiously, you know, area by area because, you know, you just don't know if those things are going to work, you know, so you just kind of go little by little. But yeah, here I am trying to deal with the mess that I made up there in the where the letter B is up by the top there. I still need to fix that, but anyway, as I'm going around, I'm looking at the picture and seeing, you know, where the balance of color is. And so yeah, I'm kind of playing around there and adding some yellows now in different sections just basically by looking at it. But yeah, see there, I'm erasing, if you will, with the baby wipe a little bit of that, and enough to where when I put the red down, you can see it, and it doesn't look super black, big black blob of mess, you know. But I like the way that came out, and so yeah, as you're playing with the oil pastels, I just really like it because you start learning how you play with them, you know, and what things you can do and how you're blending with your finger. And roses are really fun to make because you know, they're basically just like little swirls that you make, and then you can just kind of blend them in with your finger. And you know, you can add different colors and add white, you know, and add black, like I said, and then those give the dimension that you want usually, you know, at some point. And you kind of just keep doing it, you know, you keep working on it until, you know, you like it. And you know, sometimes you might make a mistake that will be hard to go back and fix, but if you do it, you know, little by little and not, you know, make giant you know, take giant risks all at once, although you may want to do that from time to time and just be prepared, you know, to make a big whoopsie. But you know, you know, only when you have a great risk will you have a great reward. So you know, you have to decide, I guess, ahead of time if that's what you want to do. And but see, that's where yeah, art can teach us a lot about life, right? So I hope you really love this. If you love it or like it, please let me know in the comments below. Also give me a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That way you'll know when I have a new video for you. So again, love you so much. Love you so much. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.